choose you.
Be cool, baby. Okay.
Hey, bitch, come here. Got your motherfucking man. Come here.
Mr. Pretty Tony, I mean, you know the rules of the game. I mean, your bitch just chose me. Now, we can settle this like you got some class, so we can get into some gangster shit.
Fuck being on some chill shit. We go 0 to 100, nigga, real quick.
Yo, what up? It's back. I'm KMGZ on Twitter. It says, thanks for asking KellzPodcast. I'm a little late. Apologize. If y'all follow me on Twitter, y'all know what happened on the day. I was going to record on a regular day, but Friday, but work day wanted to drop some last minute shit on me on Friday that had to be due that day at like 1 o'clock. So it just like that wore me out. So I ain't have it for the podcast. And then yesterday I just got distracted unexpectedly and just didn't do it. So here I am today. But this is better. This is okay because, there's a few more things have going on. I'm going to warn y'all, though, like, because of that delay, because I did have a whole setup for Friday, and now there's more stuff to add. This might seem like a little kind of all over the place because I just kind of had to, rearrange it. I had it locked in to drop on Friday, so now I had to loosen it up a little bit. So just, I'm going to stick to the main stuff, but it just might just work with me. Okay, so, first thing I want to start is yours in negritude, and that's going out to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia Phillies. The Eagles. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. This might be a little quick episode because I got to catch the Eagles game at 4, which is not being shown on TV. New York City has the worst NFL. I don't understand their NFL TV rights. This is I did not like the DMV. If y'all listen to the show on time, y'all know I hated that whole time. My whole time there, when I left, I was like, I was never going back. But the one thing I did like about the DMV is that they had the best football TV rights. Their TV rights made sense. They would always show the Washington game, as long as it wasn't blacked out. But if it was blacked out, then they would show another NFC East game. I saw almost every Eagles game. I saw more Eagles game in Washington than I would at home because a lot of the games that would have been blacked out at home were not blacked out. So I got to see the ones that were broadcast, and then the other one I got to see, if I wanted to watch the Cowboys and Giants, which I did not. But I'm just saying, their TV game, their TV rights made sense to me. Like, if they didn't have the Washington game, they'd have an NFC, and then on the off channel, they'd have the AFC game, or maybe another NFC. It's usually an AFC game, though, and then maybe another NFC game later. But you can always see New York, man, like, the Eagles are playing the Cardinals. That's an NFC East game. I understand the Cardinals in the West, but the Eagles are in your division. But we got to watch the Cowboys and some other team. I don't give a fuck about the Cowboys and some other team. And then it's like the AFC game is always like the Jets and Buffalo or the Chargers and I don't give a fuck about none of. They have to listen. What in New York, if Fox or NBC or CBS, whoever is airing the game nationally, if your game ain't on that channel, you ain't gonna. Good luck seeing it, cause you ain't gonna get it. It's gonna be some random Dolphins versus the fucking, I don't know, Texans, some bull. Like, who wants to see this? So I got to get off here at 4 because I'm gonna have to watch it on Instagram. My boy that streams it on Instagram, that's what I have to do. My other complaint is this. I don't understand why you have to have an app or pay for some other shit to be able to watch outside of broadcast games. I pay for cable, I pay for Hulu, and all this other shit. I'm not getting I don't understand why I can't log into Amazon Prime or CBS or NFL app, something. Find the game I want to watch, the Eagles versus the Cardinals, and pay 30, 20, however much it's going to be to stream that game live. I don't understand why I can't do that. Everybody, they got Red Zone. Red Zone does not show whole games. Red Zone just cuts the different. I don't give a fuck about, I want to watch my team. I don't care about no other teams all over the league. I just don't understand why nobody has been able to put that. You can buy shit. You can buy fucking movies on iTunes. You can buy, videos and Beyonce merchandise on iTunes and different shit. I don't understand why I can't go to NFL.com or something and scroll to the game of the day that I want and buy that shit. That shit is so fucking frustrating, man. I just want to watch my Eagles. That's it. And I don't have DirecTV, and I'm not buying DirecTV because, first of all, I don't even think we can get DirecTV in New York City, and I don't want that shit. I just want my regular cable. Like, I just think it's dumb that they tie the rights to certain platforms. Why are you doing that? Just let me be able to buy the fucking game. Alright, got that off my chest. So I got my new couches here, guys. If y'all were here before, man, I'm so frustrated because I think I told y'all, I'm not sure if I told y'all on this podcast before. So the first couch I ordered, so West Elm couch, I got the longer, so West Elm sells couches in 3 lengths. It's I don't know what the shortest one is. Then there's 82, and then there's a 96. The first time I ordered a couch, I ordered an 82 inch. I've seen other people have this same size couch in here. My neighbor has it. I know that the couch can come in, but I think I told y'all this before. When bought it the first time, the 2 guys did not speak English, and they just was like being dumb about trying to get in the elevator. And we couldn't. I was trying to tell. They just was trying to. I don't know if you've ever moved furniture, which some people have, some people haven't, but there is a way. Like, if you have something that's longer, like if you're trying to bring something in your door frame, right? And your door frame, the actual frame is low, but like inside the house is high enough, you just have to get it through the frame. There's a certain way that you do that. You don't just come and shove the couch up against the frame and be like, oh, it's too tall, it don't fit. And that's kind of what they were doing. They were like leaning it crooked into the elevator, and it was like, oh, and I'm like, sir, it doesn't fit because you have to turn it the other way, turn it sideways where it's not as deep. And you could get it, like, if he would have just could have understood what I was saying. So they took the couch back. So I got a shorter couch just to be sure. Like, okay, so the point of all of that, as I'm saying, is when they got this couch in here, when they bought the shorter couch, it's not that much shorter, right? The elevator had not grown. These 2 guys, they were also Dominican, but they spoke English, right? So when he first tried he was like, okay, let me try this way. He tried to get in the regular way, the way they were doing it didn't fit. He was like, okay, turn it. He turned it, and it went the way that I was trying to tell them to do it, and it went right in, and I was like, thank you. Like, that's all you, like, so I'm mad because I'm like, I could have had my longer couch because, like, they were just, I don't know. Like, I know, I don't know. I don't know how you move. I'm not really sure what they were doing. Like I told you, we used to move. One of my part-time jobs in the military paid really well. We had like this special moving company because like the government buildings, the FBI, like the CIA, different buildings, like they move offices or they move furniture in and out. Like you have to be cleared to go into those buildings, right? They can't just hire regular dangling movers. So this a guy in the Navy that I know, he kind of started his own little company, and he was like, yo, we got military people right here, and we all have clearances, and he made a good little penny out of it. He paid us well. So I know how to move, and we used to encounter that all the time. Like, okay, this is how you do it. You got to twist it. You can't, like, the dude was standing behind it. Like, it won't fit. I'm like, dude, your body is a good, probably 6 or 7 inches thick. If you move, that's 6 or 7 more inches for the couch. It was very frustrating. I'm not explaining it well, but it just was frustrating for me because I knew that couch would fit in the elevator. I just couldn't explain it to them. So anyway, new couch is here. It's nice. I'm just mad that I didn't stick to my guns because this is nice, but the longer one would have been a lot nicer. But whatever. I got it. It's in here. And I needed a new one because the other couch I had it since I first moved here in 14, and it did what it needed to do, but it was time. So where do I want to go next? Okay, let's talk about the little shit. So was it yesterday or Friday? I believe it was Friday. Sorry, got my water because it's past October 1st and they kicked the heat on. It'd be dry in here. I'm not gonna be hacking and coughing on the mic with y'all. Okay. Draymond Green and Jordan Poole got into a fight at the Warriors practice. I have several things to say about this. The one is, listen, I've told y'all on here before. I've been an athlete all my life. I didn't go pro because, the league was just a little bit too ahead of my time. I was born a little bit too early. And I'm not sitting here proposing that, you know, I'm a professional athlete or nothing like that, but I think anybody who listens to me who has played sports on any kind of competitive level, like, you know, college or past high school or even like maybe pro, semi-pro, whatever, big sport, like, you know, high school and certain, if you play on a you were good enough to make a team and you made a team and you was a starter. I think we all know that sports generally is people fight, okay? You fight your teammates, you fight the other team, you get in fights in practice. That's just the nature of the game. Everybody's very competitive. Everybody's alpha. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be the best. Everybody wants to be. You fight. It happens. So I'm always shocked when people act like when these things happen in like games or like in the practice, and you get all these people just so shocked. Oh, that's unprofessional. And it's like, are y'all like, it's sports? Like, why everything in America gotta be so bitch made? Why do we have to take the fucking fun and special shit out of everybody? We're not in a corporate boardroom, bro. Well, if you were on the Ford factory floor and you punched your coat, we're not on the Ford factory floor, bro. Like, that's a different environment. We in there building trucks. We not being athletes. We not crashing into each other every play. We not trying to beat each other to the bucket it's not the same thing. Stop making these ridiculous comparisons. Nah, motherfucking random ass dude on the floor playing is not hyped up and adrenaline pumping like that to say he's gonna get into a fight. But sports are different, and I just hate it. I hate all these intentional fouls and flagrant fouls. Like, nigga, let this sports, let them play. Like, yeah, I think everybody knows when they see a foul that should have extra penalties. I think everybody knows that. Like, I don't see what the problem was before. Back in the 80s and 90s when they used to fight on the floor, like, they would fight, they would break up, they would get kicked out of the game, maybe they get fined, maybe they get suspended. Like, we're not saying there shouldn't be no consequences, but like, god damn, y'all be clutching y'all pearls. I didn't see no big deal about that Draymond punch, like, dog. And then it's like, the other thing is like, listen, I don't know where you motherfuckers grew up or when, but like, these people that think there's all these rules to fighting, people calling it a sucker punch. When somebody is in your face and y'all are jawing or y'all are arguing or whatever the case, and they punch you in your face, that's not a sucker punch. That's you got punched in the face. A sucker punch is the shit that suckers do. That's where the name come from. It's a punch that suckers do. So suckers, when, you know, people done broke the fight up and everybody's supposed to be cool, and now you turn to walk away, and they turn up and run you behind and punch you from the back when you can't see, trying to get a hit, or, you know, you're being separated and they punch you because they know everybody's holding you, or, you know, they ain't have all that rah-rah till, you know, here come the teacher or the police or whatever, the person that, you know, they know that you're not going to retaliate in front of them. Now they want to hit you. That's a sucker move. That's what we call sucker punches. Y'all tend to think that, well, I didn't think I was going to get punched in the face means it's a sucker punch. It's not. If a person is in your face and they punch you, you just got punched, bro. Like, he was talking shit. Draymond walked, first of all, soon as Draymond walked over, this is not an unknown incident. You know Draymond Green. You know how he acts. So they were jawing. You couldn't tell what they were saying, but you could tell they were jawing. Soon as he did that slow walk over to me, he would have been, as soon as he came up, he would have just got punched in the chin. Because I already know. Because maybe it's because I'm short. Maybe because I'm short. You know, small people, we get tested every day. We've been fighting all our lives. We ain't got time for all that tussling. We got to let you know that we not the one right away. So maybe that's it. But that's what I would have did. As soon as he came over in my face and got bumping all on my chest, I would have punched the dude. Somebody said, I can't remember who, but it was on the timeline. Somebody said a person, like, when you about to fight, the person that pushes instead of throwing a punch, the person that pushes, they don't really want to fight. They don't want to fight. They don't know how to fight. And I think that is true, because everybody knows that's not, when you push somebody, you should know that that's starting the physical altercation and there's going to be a response. And 9 times out of 10, that person's going to punch you back. They're not going to push you back. They're going to punch you back. So I have to agree with that. Like, that's not, he should have swung on him. He should have swung on Draymond. You know what I mean? Like, get a punch in. Like, something. But my whole point is, I think y'all did a whole lot with that. Like, yes, if you want to find him, whatever, of course he gonna have to go to the little, you know, they always make you go to anger management, whatever, therapy, whatever you gotta do. They always make you do that shit now, because, you know, we in this fucking soft-ass shit we doing, everybody gotta go to therapy. Fine, like, we know there's gonna be some consequences, because you get, you know, we know. But, like, y'all was just doing a whole lot. He didn't have to punch him like that. He didn't. But, you know, when you fight a person and you miscalculate and you think that you know, tougher than you are, or this motherfucker ain't gonna do nothing, and he does, that's on you. That's on you. That's why we say that y'all at a disadvantage by taking fights going out of school. Y'all at a disadvantage because y'all don't understand how to read situations. We see all these fights now with people. It just comes down to people not you don't have enough experience in the octagon. At 3 o'clock at the after school octagon, you don't have enough experience on the streets. You don't have enough experience just trying to ride the bus, and the niggas from the other neighborhood trying to jump you and shit. You know, you gotta just get off. You just trying to make it to your block. Y'all don't have enough experience in that to understand how to read the situation. Okay, and y'all always seem to be shocked when somebody fucking punches you in your face when you doing shit to get punched in your face for. Y'all seem to be shocked. And it's just always funny to me, because I'm like, yo, he didn't have to punch. No, nobody ever has to punch anybody. But when you get punched, you get punched. If you talking shit to somebody and you feel like, well, I didn't put my hands on them, so they shouldn't have punched me. You're right. You're right. They probably shouldn't have, but they did. Now what you gonna do? You know, you gotta know when you in a person's face like that, you gotta be able to understand that that's a possibility and be ready for it. And when Draymond came in his face, to me, he should have known that it might go to fisticuffs, and the pushing the dude ain't it. Not no dude that's twice your size like that. Now you got punched out with one punch in front of the hoes. Like, that's terrible. But I just wanted to say, like, I feel like people like make it like they act like it's a school shooting. Like, nigga, he got punched in the face. They fought in practice. It's really not that big of a deal. Guys fight all the time. I don't know why y'all think y'all like to make these wild ass, well, if you were in your job, yeah, my job at the office, sure. Same way, I mean, shit, if I was in the locker room and I all of a sudden took a call, that'd be weird, right? Because that's some shit you do in the office, but that's not some shit you do in basketball play. Like, let's keep the context straight here. So, I just want, y'all wore me out with that shit. I just want to say that shit was funny. That nigga got stole in his face, and he will not, whatever he said to Draymond, he won't say that shit again, I guarantee you. He will watch his mouth, because he punched the shit out of that boy. That's embarrassing. Then people are like, oh no, I would have had to get Draymond the fair one. He gave you the fair one, nigga. The fair one was when he punched you in your face and you were supposed to, y'all dealt with, but he knocked your ass out. You don't want no fair one, nigga. You can't beat him, nigga. Like, if you wanted a fair one, it would have been a fair one, because he would have punched you and you would have punched back, and that would have been a fair one. That nigga punched you and knocked you the fuck out. Like, you don't want a fair one. Like, that was it. That was your fair one. You failed. Alright? So, what's next? I kind of want to save those for last. What did it say? Oh, yeah, okay. So, wait, which one do I want to save for last? Alright, I'll figure it out. It's October, it's Halloween month, it's scary month, it's spooky movie month. And I just wanted, like, where are the scary movies, bro? I've been for days, for weeks, since October started, trying to find scary shit. And it's so hard. Like, first, let me give a shout out to the AMC Plus version of Interview with the Vampire. Excellent. Really, really, really good. I only watched, I think it comes on tonight, actually. So I've watched the first 2 episodes. Very good. Very good remake. The guy that plays Louis is the guy that played Grey Worm in Game of Thrones. Khaleesi's soldier. He and then the white guy that plays Lestat, I don't know who he is, but he's really good. Like, they're both really, really good. And I love it because it's set in New Orleans in the early 1900s, I want to say. Yeah, like 1910, I believe. They're turning the century. And it's in New Orleans, and Louis is like a Creole, and they have, you know, he runs a brothel in the that part of town. But I like it because it's so authentic. So Lestat is white, and Louis is Creole, and Braydon John is playing his mother. He has a brother, but it's authentic. The way his name is Louis something Dupois, but I forgot his middle name. Dupuis, something like that. His last name's Dupois. So but just the way he's playing this black man character is so real, right? It's so authentic. It's not this, because they're in 1910, they're in New Orleans, there's still a lot of racism, but New Orleans society is a little bit different, so he's a Creole, so he is allowed into certain places, but they still treating him like, he's not white and shit. So, and they show that well, they show that part of that special thing that occurred in New Orleans where their race restrictions are a little different. They show that well. It's just really good. Like, he's just really, the way he's playing the character, both of them are amazing, but the way they're showing Louis' character and Louis' position and how and how Lestat views, Lestat, picks up on how, like, they think they think you're just a nigger, and because Lestat coming from France, and it's just, I can't explain, you have to watch it, but the social dynamics and the racial dynamics, how they do it is very well, because Lestat is like this old ass vampire, so he's been through all the ages, and he sees what's going on, and just his reactions with Louis within that context is just really good. It's not corny. Like, he's a white man. Like, he doesn't treat Louis like he's black, because to him it's silly because he's so old. Like, he's like, I've seen all this shit. I know what it is. But he still recognizes that Louis has to move in that society, and then Louis is explaining things to him. Like, there's this great scene where Lestat goes home to Louis' family for dinner, and it's a very black dinner, and very black family dinner, and just watching Lestat interact with that is really good. It's really good. It's really well done. It's plenty of gore. I like it. It's really good. So I highly recommend it. Only thing is, you got to that's how AMC Plus gets you. But I will say this: I went ahead and got the AMC Plus. I was batting down that I was not going to pay for AMC Plus because I paid for AMC on cable, and I still think it's some bullshit. But the only thing that made me get it is because I noticed that AMC Plus comes with a whole lot of other content. So it's not just AMC Plus; it's a whole shitload of stuff. So what I did was I got rid of Discovery Plus because I don't really watch Discovery Plus no more. The ID that they have on there, I just watch it on regular cable. They don't even have the good stuff, the good shows I watch, and I just realized, like, all that other stuff, the home, I don't watch all that shit that's on Discovery Plus. So I got rid of that, and I picked up AMC Plus, and I got like 3 times the content that I had. So fine. But that's how they get you. They got good shows on AMC Plus. But I highly recommend it. It's really good. And it just started. So check it out if you want to. But there's no good horror movies. Like, and when I say horror, because whenever I tweet this, somebody sends me all these slasher movies. Slasher movies are not horror movies. Slasher movies are slasher movies. They're not scary. They're gory. They're suspense. It's usually a bunch of sex in it. That's not horror. They usually have the typical themes of the bad girl, the virgin girl. Like, that's not horror. That's not scary to me. The reason slasher movies are not scary, I am not scared by any situation where I'm never gonna be in. And them slasher movies, like, we all know, ain't nobody, I'm not going in the haunted house, I'm not going, it's just never gonna happen. First creak I hear in this creepy ass house, I'm the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, black people, it's just not, those things don't scare me, because I'm like, this will never, ever happen to me. Like, they're funny to me. It's low-key, oh, well, how they gonna kill this girl? How they gonna kill that girl? Oh, that's dumb as fuck. Who goes off into the woods looking for somebody in their drawers and no shoes? You know what I mean? Like, I don't, when I say horror, I don't mean slasher. That's not horror. Horror movies, to me, things that scare me are things that you can imagine, or things that, like, are just so creepy that they just creep you out. Like, The Ring, right? It's fantasy, sure, but, like, the way that girl came out the TV, like, it looks it's things like that when I say horror. Things that are very scary and very creepy that you can imagine. A slasher movie like Jason, I mean, maybe you can imagine some dude that can't be killed chasing you with an axe, but it's not gonna happen, right? So, and it's like the past 10 years, ever since The Sixth Sense, I feel like everybody is making these movies where there's a twist, or since, what was Jordan Peele's first one, Get Out, the horror is not, it's not really a monster, it's your own bias, or society is staring at you, or it's racism, or like, I'm tired of that shit. I want horror movies with demons. A demon is trying to get me. They trying to possess me, or something. The child is evil, or there's a killer in the attic, or he's outside. This is what. Oh, reminds me. I watched something really good on Netflix, which by accident, which I really did not think was going to be good, but it turned out it was very good. It's called The Rental, and it's on Netflix. And that shit really disturbed my spirit, because you'll see. I don't want to give it away. It's very good. Start slow. I'm telling y'all now. Start slow. First 15, maybe half an hour. I almost turned it off like, oh, this about to be some bullshit. But it picked up very quickly, and it was very fucking good. Okay? But that's what I'm saying. Stuff like that. The Exorcist. You know, I don't play with demons. And I'm not necessarily saying I believe in demons, but this is what I always tell people. You know, people kill me how they say they don't believe in witchcraft and this and that and the other. I'm like, okay, but you believe that you can, you know, positive vibes and high vibrations, and you can call on the ancestors and call on good spirits and call on positivity. You can't believe you can do that and don't think you can call up the other. Like, you can't believe in good without believing in evil. And I just never understand people that, because I tell people I'm not really joking though. I'm like, you know, when I watch certain movies like the Exorcist of Emily Rose, The Nun, there's certain movies where they, you know, call out demon names. And in Catholicism, that is, and probably other religions too, because we know Catholicism kind of stole stuff from different stuff. I'm sure in other religions too, but that's kind of the way that you control, historically in the canon, you control or you gain power over evil spirits and demons is by knowing their name. So the story is that, you know, that's how the God cast the devil out of heaven by his name, called him by his name and cast him out. And in the folklore, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's how you, if someone is possessed, like they show this in a lot of movies about possession, but like The Exorcist is one that everybody knows. When he's trying to get the demon out, and he keeps saying, tell me your name, and because in the folklore, that's how you gain control. If you know the demon's name, now you can work the spells, you can work the magic, you can get them out, right? So it's also, though, when you watch people doing the Ouija boards and all that, is how you can call up evil spirits. And all I'm saying is, however you believe, I don't play around with it, because like I said, if I can sit here and pray to, you know, my family, my ancestors, and the God and the angels, and please, you know, give me your light, then I don't understand people who think that you can't call the opposite, right? Like, because if you can't have good without evil, because then what is good, right? What is it? You need one to balance the other. So when I'm watching certain movies and they start that, I mute it. I mute the TV. Because I'm just like, look, I don't play around. You ain't gonna be saying no guy, I don't know. You done here calling out Beelzebub and whatever all these other fucking names are. And that's like, The Exorcism of Emily Rose is like one of my favorite. To me, that's horror. And that one scene scares the fuck out of me every time I watch it. When they're in the barn and he asks, all through the movie, the priest is trying to gain, you know, like I just told you, gain control over the demon, gain dominion. That's what it is. I was trying to think of the word. Gain dominion over the demon. And he keeps asking, demon, what is your name? And all throughout the movie, the demon saying back, names. And, you know, you're not really paying attention to it. And then when there's a scene when they get into it's some funny shit in that movie too, because there's one scene in that movie where, so the demon is fucking, you know, taking over the girl, and, you know, they trying to hold her down, and she's slapping everybody across the room, right? And so the priest was like, she like broke the restraints, and the police was like, hold her, and the brother looked at him like, you hold her, bitch, you're the priest, right? Like, it's funny. But anyway, so it's a scene where they get to the garage, to the barn, and the demon's like trapped, sort of, and he turns around, and you can see the priest says, tell me your name, and he goes, names, and then the priest finally gets it. And what it was he was telling them the whole time it was more than one demon. So then the priest gets it and says, tell me your names, and then the demons start naming their names off. And the last one was Satan. That is that scene. every time it scares me because it's like, oh shit, like he realizes, oh, it's more than one, it's like a whole gang of y'all, right? Just, it's so good. So, but my point is, I can't find, like, none of these movies are scary to me. Somebody asked me about the Skeleton Key. I've recommended Skeleton Key to y'all before. Excellent, excellent, excellent movie. Way before its time. I think it did what Jordan Peele tried to do way better, you know. But to me, that wasn't also not, to me, that's in this realm of, like, psychological thriller, suspense thriller. Not necessarily scary. It had some scary parts, but to me it wasn't scary, but it still was very good. Like, you know, excellent. To me, when I say, I'm talking about The Exorcist, the Conjuring series, bitch, where they got demons popping up and taking over, and then Lorraine Warren and them, she got to come in and she the demon exorciser, but this demon is like really trying to hide from her, and they fucking going back and forth. Like, listen, if you've seen The Conjuring, you know what I mean. To me, that's what I say when I mean horror. Bitch, demons jumping out. You know, stuff like that. Jumps, scares. Not this psychological bullshit. And then people were like, oh, well, you know, and then, because nowadays people are trying to be clever. I'm like, you're not really being clever with it. Because having, like, societal messages or, like, using underlying themes to horror is not a new thing. Like, if you study cinema or you know anything about it, like, older movies used to do that also. Like, perfect example, one of, like, the George Romero's, like, premiere Night of the Living Dead. If you, like, Google that or read anything up on that, there's a whole bunch of different themes in there. The main ones was, like, encroaching. The movie came out at a time when consumerism was getting really big, and so that was like one of the underlying, like, the zombies running around mindless, that was meant to show, like, we're just out here buying shit. Like, there's all kind, you can Google, there's all kind of underlying themes in that movie, and a whole lot of movies like that. Rosemary's Baby, there was one of the reasons why a lot of the movies in the 70s, horror movies that are classic, came from the 70s, because the 70s was a decade kind of like similar to now, where there was a lot of occult interest. There was a lot of cults. You had Jim Jones and all that kind of dark shit that was going on in Guyana. It was a lot of, like, coming out of the 60s and all of that shit, starting with, like, the Manson murders. It just was people were interested in UFOs, and it was just a lot of occult belief and stuff like that. That's also where the Satanic Panic kind of got started. They carried all the way, like, into the 90s. It kind of got started there. So that was a decade of that, and the horror movies show it. That's why The Exorcist and The Godfather. You have all these movies that have, like, these dark themes. And Rosemary's Baby was one. And so what I read about that movie was that was about, like, that was, like, sort of like a the Stepford Wives type story, where you have the woman who's kind of trapped in this domestic, supposed to be tranquility housewife, but, you know, she's really uncomfortable and she doesn't know why, and it turns out that, you know, they got her locked up in the fucking Dakota with a bunch of devil worshippers. So, like, what I'm saying is, having underlying messages, having societal messages is not new in movies. It's just that nowadays they want to make that shit the whole plot. Like, Nope. What the fuck was that shit? And I've heard people tell me what it, and I've seen it, and I'm like, first of all, if I gotta Google YouTube and all this shit to figure out the fucking movie was about, like, it's not a good movie. Like, bro, I want to go in there and I want to enjoy the movie. Maybe I don't get every single thing, but I want to understand what the fuck it is you're doing. And I want, you know, and I'm just tired of all this psychological bullshit. Like, make a good fucking movie. You know, the other one with the tethers, like, it's just, y'all trying to be too fucking nerd with the shit. Like, just make a good movie. So yesterday, cause I asked y'all online, you know, any good horror movies, and I knew whenever I asked that, I know I'm gonna get these fucking slasher movies, and I know I'm gonna get shit that's really not scary. So people kept saying X. The main two ones people have been saying is Barbarian and X. Now, I saw the Barbarian preview in the theater twice. I saw it when I went to see I only seen 2 movies in the theater. What's The Woman King? Not The Woman King. What did I see before that? Whatever. Some other movie that I went to the theater to see that I can't. Oh, Top Gun. I saw the preview for it when I went to see Top Gun, and then I saw the preview for it when I went to see there's another movie I went to the theater. I cannot remember what it was, but anyway. And from the previews, like, look, when you a horror movie veteran like me, you can sometimes tell, a lot of times actually, especially with horror movies, scary movies, you can tell from the previews when a movie gonna be trash, because usually when a movie is gonna be trash, what they'll do is they'll put all the best scenes in the preview to lure you in. Man, if you think, oh, this gonna be live, and then when you watch the movie, you figure out that them 3 or 4 scenes was the best scenes in the movie. The rest of that shit was trash, right? So that's kind of what the Barbarian previews were giving me. I was like, this probably gonna be some trash, because they put in all the jumps and all the scares in the preview. And usually when they do that for a horror movie, it's because the rest of the movie is hot garbage, right? But people have been saying it's good. They've been saying it's scary. I don't know. I can't trust y'all, because, like I said, my taste in horror is a little bit different. What I think is a good horror movie is a little bit different. And y'all be sending slasher movies that are dumb and don't make no sense. So I watched X last night on Showtime. This movie that everybody been hollering about is so fucking good. And I should have known it was a slasher movie. And I meant to ask. I meant to ask if it was a slasher movie, because then at least I would have been prepared. It was a slasher movie, and it was just like every other slasher movie, not that great, and it was a lot of sex in it, and it was just like, and I actually saw the preview for that when I went to see something too. I just can't remember what it was, but and it was just like what I thought it was gonna be. I was like, I watched it though because I started. I mean, it wasn't the worst. I've seen worse. Put it like this: I've seen worse slasher movies than that. But it was typical. There's going to be a lot of gore. There's going to be a lot of killings. The plot really don't make a whole lot of sense. What is this? I'm not trying to give it away if y'all want to watch it, but like I didn't understand what the killer was doing, why, what it was about. I really didn't get what the fuck was, what their problem was. You know what I mean? Like I didn't understand what they wanted. I didn't understand, as with all horror movies, why are y'all still here? Why are you doing this? Why would you do that? Now you dead. Why you gonna go over there? Look, now you dead. It was all of that type shit. And I just was like, ugh. But I mean, listen, if you do like slasher movies, you probably like X. It is, I mean, it's not I put it like this. Another slasher genre that I think is well done, that I actually like, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it's like that. So if you like that, if you like that level slasher, Halloween, there's certain slasher movies that are very good, that are it is good in that genre. It just wasn't scary to me. But I wish I got one on now that I got paused while I do this for y'all. That's called Oculus. I watched the preview. It looked like it might be decent. Let me check that out. But it's just they come few and far between. Hereditary was one that was scary. What else? I'm trying to think. I've already said The Conjuring. The other one, not The Conjuring. Insidious. I think people watch that. Y'all know that one. That one. There's a new one. There's an American remake of the Swedish joint Let the Right One In on Showtime. I started watching it, but it's I read the previews, and the previews was like they made it dry, and I kind of see what they're saying, because it's starting slow. I'm only on episode 1. I paused that shit like 4 times. We gonna see, but just I don't know. It's for I want to go back to horror, man. Make it a demon, make it a monster, make it a werewolf, make it a vampire, or it's a killer that's living in the walls, or a serial stalker, something scary, right? That's all. Okay, so Kehlani is single. I don't know if y'all know, but I was a little apprehensive about Kehlani, because she was, first she was dating dudes, and then she did the bisexual, and then she was going back and forth, and I was thinking she was fake gay for a minute, and and then she came out, and I thought it was funny, because she came out on camera, she was talking about how her family's like, oh, we been new, and I've told y'all how rude that fucking is, but it's also very funny, because that is sometimes people's responses. I just think you should pretend, but anyway, but I thought, I was like, but her the way she explained, I believe her, is what I'm trying to say. I believe she's a lesbian, because her journey is not very different from mine. Like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, damn, wait a minute, why am I bashing this girl when because she was, I forgot what I was reading or something. Maybe she was giving an interview, I can't recall, but she said that she kept trying to make it be something else, or trying to like, you know, still be like, oh no, you know, I'm bisexual, I do like men. She was just saying that she was faltering there because she didn't want to just go all the way. She was nervous, she was apprehensive about jumping all the way and what that means. And I was like, yo, I did the same thing. So let me stop bashing you, girl, because, like, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean you're flip-flopping. That means you just took a minute to figure it out, right? Much respect. So anyway, she's single now. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Her and her little girlfriend that she made the video with, supposedly they broke up. It's very recently, from what I could tell. You know, towards the mid to late September, so it's not been long at all. So you know how lesbians are, very dramatic. They might be back together in a few weeks, I don't know. But as of now, she's single, and she's very young. I didn't realize how young she was. Probably too, probably too young for me, but I don't care. I'm still I'm Instagrams, I'm shooting my shot. I mean, you know, not gonna go anywhere likely, so that's why I'm not really sweating that she's young, because I'm like, it ain't. But I'm just saying, I'm shooting my shots up in there, that's all I'm saying. So, shout out to Kehlani. Okay, so, I'm putting this off because I'm trying to figure out how much I want to say about these niggas, and it's really not much, but I feel like I need to say something. I'm tired of y'all boy, Mr. West, and I'm tired of Killer Mike, and I'm tired of black male, good for nothing, know nothing, unread, uneducated, low vibrational, I'm gonna get on that in a minute, low vibrational, plate niggas. I'm tired of them. Listen, I've been off of Kanye West since 2016 because I don't know what's going on. Maybe we're not raising people like we used to, but in the black family and black community that I came up with, we could argue about a lot of things, we could disagree about a lot of things, but there are certain things that you just don't cross the line, and once you cross the line, you're out, and that's it, and you're just not one of us. And, you know, being the Clarence Thomas types, the sellouts, the coons, the Uncle Toms, you know, that's always been that line. Like, oh, okay, you want to pick that side, you stay over there. Like, you're not, you don't get to come to the cookout, you don't get to come to you don't get to do that, and you playing us out to the, you know, out to the white man. You a snitch, you running back and telling our bit, you don't get to do that, right? And that's always been. But now it's like we taking it a step further. Now we are purposely, you know, taking money and getting big checks to get out here and suppress the black vote and stump and shill for these racist white politicians at the detriment of the Stacey Abrams and the Kamala Harrises and the Val Demings and whoever else. It's like we're actually out here as black men, who, you know, stumping for overtly racist white men. That's what we're doing, okay? And I'm tired of it. I think the black community, I've been done with Kanye ever since he ran for, I don't understand how y'all just kept rocking with this man and talking about he's running for president with the intent, the whole purpose of doing that was because they wanted him to take the black vote so that Trump could win, and he did that on purpose. And I don't want to hear about no bipolar. You motherfuckers of this generation who think that y'all can just lame out afflictions and illnesses and whatever shit y'all make up, real or not, and that just excuses the behavior you do, that's bullshit. I don't give a fuck about no bipolar because, number one, that motherfucker always seems to act right around who he needs to act right around. He, you know, when Jay Prince choked his ass up, he wasn't crazy no more. He was very clear-eyed and talking like he had some sense. And I guarantee you, when he go into the meetings with Nike and Adidas and whoever the hell else trying to get money and trying to get them deals, he ain't in there talking crazy. That motherfucker acts right with who he wants to act right. He's doing this shit for attention. He's doing this shit for clout. He's doing this shit to harass his soon-to-be ex-wife. And he's doing this shit like I just said, for attention. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear. I don't have bipolar. I don't suffer, thank God. But I've heard from enough people now who have it or have in whatever severity they have it. Some very little, some a whole lot. You know, or have other things that, you know, also make people behave in, you know, weirdo ways. But they all say the same thing. They like, look. First of all, bitch, it's medication that you take to control that shit. And sometimes, yes, you do have to adjust your medication because, I don't know, I guess like the body adjusts or, I mean, you know, different shit. You gotta stay on top of it. You have to do that. Like, that's the first thing they say. Every person that I have ever heard speak or talk that have any kind of mental illness, they always say that they like, look, schizophrenic the whole nine. They always say you have to stay on your medication. So if you're not on your pills, you're just not, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, okay? And that's not an excuse. Like, you can't not take your pills and not do whatever the doctor tell you to do and run around being a fucking asshole and then just be like, oh, well, I have bipolar. Nobody's taking that as an excuse, bro, because that shit is manageable, okay? We may understand that, oh, this person has a mental, maybe they have to, they might be acting a little off, maybe they need to adjust. People understand that you may have an illness that may be causing you to do this, what you're doing, but that's not the same thing as you not having to be held accountable. And that's what I think people try to do. Kanye West does not take his medication. He does not listen to anybody. He surrounds himself with enablers. Like, that's not nothing to do with bipolar. That's something you do because you don't want to deal with what you're dealing with, so you can continue to do what you're doing. Like, I'm sorry. Look, maybe it's a symptom, I don't know, but I'm just not really, it's not that I don't believe he has bipolar, because he's been diagnosed and there's proof. Like, Kim tried to get him committed. I mean, he's bipolar, but I just don't believe that all of this shit is caused because, like I said, he acts right when it's time to act right. When he goes in that courtroom, he's all, he's coherent. When he's in it, it's only when he want to get on TMZ or when he wanted to. Now, he running from platform to platform trying to motherfucker. I'm not saying he's not manic. I'm not saying, but I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know how it works. But the nigga reminds me of back in the day when you had the crackheads, and them crackheads wanted to act crackheadish. They wanted to be, run around wild and crazy and shit until, number one, somebody really threatened that they was about to kill their ass, and then all of a sudden they, where's my mother? All of a sudden they straighten up and they find some sense. Or, they want to be crackhead this and crackhead out until you got a job for them to do. Hey, come back here at 8 o'clock and I'm going to pay you $4 to wash my car. Them motherfuckers will show up right at 8. Crackheads are very manageable sidekick. Every now and then we get into these conversations about what's worse, an alcoholic or a crackhead, and people say crackhead. No, sir. Crackheads are very, very manageable. Okay? You can't trust them. All right? Don't let them in your house because they're going to steal. But they're very manageable because they want that crack rock. They want that rock, they want that hit, they want that high, and if they know that if you tell them to come back at 3:30 to wash your car, you're going to give them $10, they're going to be there at 3:30. Now, what you got to do is you got to make them wash the car first, because they'll take that $10, they might run off, or they'll do a half-ass job. You got to make them wash the car first, but they'll be there, and they'll wash that shit, and they'll do a good fucking job for that, too, because they want that $10. And then they'll keep checking with you if you got any other odd jobs, because they want that money. So, that's this little sidetrack, but I'm just saying. He reminds me of that. And so, I don't know. Maybe crack make you act similar to bipolar. I don't really know. I just know when Jay Prince snatched that nigga up, he was talking like he had some sense. When Kim got the lawyers on his ass for the shit what he was doing with the kids, he started acting like he had some sense. Okay? Whenever Chris snatches it in, like, hey, bro, he starts acting like he has some sense. So, that's all I'm saying. I don't really think that I'm not saying I don't think he's having an episode, but I'm saying I really think it's trying to get attention and trying to get somebody to listen to him and let him do what he wants to do at the end of the day. That's what I think. The whole harassment of Kim and Pete, like, come on. I don't know. I ain't buying it. I think so. And listen, I hate to say it, but I think this motherfucker, somebody need to go upside his head. Somebody gonna whoop his ass and get him to act right. Okay, that might be what it takes. I don't know, because it's not gonna end well. But this motherfucker, like this whole White Lives Matter. All I want to say about the White Lives Matter T-shirt, I really paid that no attention, because like I said, to me, he's trying to get attention. Him and fucking Candace Owens, stupid coon asses, standing there in them fucking shirts like some fucking dumb niggers. All they want is attention, and I saw that. Like, them niggas, what they know that that's going to get them attention, and got them on Fox News and all these dumb white people. Like, I didn't even pay no attention to that, and I wish that all these other people did. But what I do want to say, the part that really should piss you off, is how you notice these same niggas, the Diddy's, all of them. Kanye been fucking running wild again since 2016. That White Lives Matter t-shirt is not the most egregious thing he's did. He was harassing poll workers. He was doing all this shit for Trump. Slavery's a choice. All this bullshit. None of them had nothing to say about it. Not only did they not have nothing to say about it, half of them went to Montana for his little bitch ass album, was partying with him. Like, none of them had anything to say about this. And then he wore the White Lives t-shirt, and they only had something to say because two white girls. It took two fucking white girls, Gigi Hadid and Hailey Bieber, to tweet like, bro, who the fuck wears a White Lives t-shirt? Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're a fucking joke. Like we talk, like, who does that? They were offended. The white girls had to be like, yo, nigga, what are you doing? Then now here come Diddy. Here come this person. Here come, like, I don't, like, do y'all understand that these motherfuckers, it wasn't until the white people got offended. Now everybody just want to get Kanye under control. I think that's coon shit. I'm sorry. I don't think it should have got to that point. They should have been checking this nigga. They should have been checking this shit from the Trump. Like, yo, homie, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Why, you know what I mean? Not, like, look, I just think they all full of shit. I don't understand the point of having all this money if you still gonna be a lackey for the white man. I thought the whole point of having all this money was you could be, it's called fuck you money. You could be free. Y'all are still out here fucking on the end of these fucking white men's leash, and it don't make no sense to me. Like, I'm sorry. You don't have to agree with nobody's politics. You don't have to, again, I prefer y'all to stay the fuck out of politics because none of y'all have the range anyway. Just vote like everybody else. Donate to good causes, and that's all we need from y'all, to be honest. You know, maybe you want to be, if you want to come out and say, hey, vote for Hillary Rodham, fine, that's no problem, fine. But even that, it's whatever. But I'm just saying, fine. But, you know, for y'all to be out here, every time you step up, you stepping up for the wrong thing. You stepping up for the wrong side. You out here defending goddamn racist ass NFL owners against Colin Kaepernick. You out here wearing White Lives Matter. You out here stumping for Trump. Let's give Trump a chance. Y'all step out purposely on the wrong side because y'all want to be white men. Y'all want y'all want to stand toe to toe and have these white men view you as equal, and they never are. You're gonna be a dumb nigga to them no matter what. You were paid for, you bought and paid for, and I just don't understand how. Maybe I don't have multi-million dollars. Maybe that's it. But it just seemed like to me, if you got $1 billion, shit, if you got $500 million, that's enough money to where you don't have to do that. Okay? You know what? I don't have to sit on the stage and disparage a black man in front of all these racist white men who playing me for a fool because they gave me this goddamn Moynihan report so I can sit up here and tell black people that they're their own problem because I don't know no better. Because I don't know that this shit is bullshit. It's some racist bullshit that was written back in the 60s that's been discredited. Like, y'all don't have to do that. Y'all are choosing to do that. And I just don't understand. Like, y'all want to talk about how y'all got all this money and y'all free, but y'all still doing all this coon shit. If you free, nigga, like, goddamn, donate to HB, found a school. LeBron James, found a school. Okay? Rihanna, Clara Lionel, make a foundation. Hire people who know what they're doing. Hire people who know how to do these things and really, and can help people for real. So, you know, like, that's all I gotta say about that. Like, I don't give a fuck about Kanye. I think he's been a clown for a long time now. This is just the latest, and I know as soon as this nigga get back on his meds, y'all gonna be right back with him. I don't give a, listen, the way I was raised, and the background, and the person, the man who raised me, cooning, being a sellout, that's not forgivable. That's not somebody just tripping. When you fucking, trading on your people for favor with the white man, you are working towards the white man to strip your people of their rights, to strip your people of their dignity, to have your people go back to a time where they had to sit in the back of the bus or they had to be owned as property. You're working with the people whose goal it is to get that back to where nobody can't, it's no integration, it's no birth control. That you're working with them, and for what? So you can own a football team? So you could get a sneaker deal? So you could get another TV show? Like, this is what y'all are doing these things for? That's cut off. You can go. We don't need you never back. You can go. But now it's like, oh, but I won't judge. My daddy told me, I used to think he was like kind of being harsh, but I think he's true. My dad used to tell me that people that say you can't judge, that's for fuck niggas who want to do fuck shit and not be held accountable. He's like, I think, it might be something to it, because the truth is everybody judges. Everybody judges. Like, certain shit you do, I'm going to judge you for not doing. Mean I'm going to think you a bad person? No, but I just think that, I think it's funny that, I think there's, yes, people make mistakes, and people, are not perfect, and they fall short all the time, of course. But I just think there's certain things that I just think it's funny how there are certain things that people universally agree makes you a bad person, right? Like, if you do, I don't know, sleeping with your brother's wife, or certain stuff that people do that people assign to bad people. Like, and then you'll have people say, oh, well, he's not a bad person. And it's like, nah, bro, nah. You're judging him, yeah. Because only bad people do that. Like, yeah, people make mistakes. People, maybe they cheat on their wife with a random, or maybe I don't know. It's certain stuff that people do that we understand. You was hungry, you stole. Whatever the case, you sold drugs because you didn't want to be broke. But there are certain things that people do. Like I said, you sleeping with your brother's wife behind his back. You stealing from out your mom's purse. It's certain things that only bad people do, and I feel like there are people who try to act like people are not supposed to feel the way you stumping for Trump. Even though Trump is a fucking racist and trying to take our rights away, you're stumping from him. But we're supposed to say you're not a bad person. Only bad people do that shit, bro. Only bad people do that shit. Only greedy people do that shit. Only self-absorbed people do that shit. Only narcissistic people do that type of shit. They don't give a fuck about nobody else. It's just all about them. People do that shit. So, I don't have nothing for Kanye. I think Killer Mike is a dummy. I think anybody that listens to these rappers are dummies. I don't know why y'all think these motherfuckers know anything about anything just because they can put together a dope beat or make a dope rhyme. Like, I don't know why y'all think that qualifies these motherfuckers to do any fucking thing else. You don't bring a brain surgeon to the studio to make goddamn the blueprint, do you? No, because he doesn't know how to do that. He's a genius, man. He's a surgeon. He knows how to fucking save a life. He can take a heart out your chest, put it back in, and bring you back to life. But he's not a producer. You wouldn't bring him into the studio and expect him to make you a Grammy hit. But we take Grammy-winning producers and put them on platforms and give them mics and ask them things as if they have any qualifications whatsoever to speak on anything. Most of them are barely even fucking literate. But you asking him what black people, what candidates need to do to attract black voters? You don't know, nigga. Who are you talking about? I don't understand y'all. I don't understand y'all with that. This is very unserious, and I'm tired of it. Like, stop. It's like y'all can't cover Kamala Harris on the news ever, but every time I turn TV on, here goes Charlamagne the God giving some opinion. That nigga don't know shit. I don't want to hear from him. He's a fucking radio host. Get out of here. I don't understand it. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say on that. So, my last subject, and this is a gay one, but I just, I get on here and I say a lot of things, and most of them I stick by. Sometimes I change my mind, and now I think I'm in a phase where I'm not really sure how I feel or what I'm trying to say, because last night I was hanging for a little bit with some older lesbians, and when I say older, I mean older than me. So they 50 and up. Are they 50? Maybe 6? Yeah, 50 and up. They're older than me. Not really sure. I noticed a thing that I have noticed in that age cohort of lesbians is that they are very, and I've talked about this before, but not what I'm about to say. So bear with me. They are very heteronormative, stuck in heteronormative gender roles. I don't mean by how they dress, and I don't mean by necessarily how they dress but like, and I've said before, like, I get on here and I say, let people like what they like. If some people are super masculine, some people are super feminine, and that's what they like, I get that. So I say I'm like a little conflicted on what I'm trying to say here. But I know, like, it makes me, I don't know about uncomfortable. I think it's weird to me. It's not weird. It's, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, the couple I was with, what I'm trying to say is this, like, if you're in a gay relationship, and this probably applies to men too, like I said before, there are some feminine men, and I know a lot of gays don't like this, but they like to be treated more like they are the feminine role. And what I've said before is, if that's what they like, I don't have a problem with that. And I still say that. Like, if they want you to hold the door, if they want their boyfriend to hold the door open for them so they can feel like that's fine. I know not everybody likes that, but my thing is, if it works for both of them, if that's what they like, then I don't see the issue. It shouldn't bother you. But it can be a little bit much, and it can be a little silly I feel like, in 2022, right? Like, last night, it was just this couple, and, like, she's running to, like, open the door, and that's fine, hold the door. Then she's running to pull her seat out so she can sit. She's doing, like, the man things. And I'm not saying that you can't do man things, but it was, like, no, like, if most couples I see like that, yeah, okay, they might hold the door. The girl might hold the door for you. You fix the seat. I'm not saying you can't do those things, but it was like so 1950s style, and it was just kind of. I was almost like, I don't want to say embarrassed, but I just felt away because I was like, why are you like? And it was mainly on behalf of one partner, right? So it was clearly, oh, I'm the male role, so I'm going to hold the seat. I'm going to order for her. It was just a lot. And I was just like, yo, y'all can chill a little bit. Like, you can still be masculine. You can still be, but you don't have to order for her. You don't have to pull a seat. Like, you could. I don't know if I'm explaining what I'm saying, but it just made me feel awkward because it just seemed very try hard, and it seemed very unnecessary, and it just seemed like, girl, we don't have to do that no more. Like, yeah, I understand if you want to be the more dominant role, I get that, but like, you are pouring on 1950 very thick here. You know, like, she was like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. She pulling out the chair, standing up so she could go, and I just was like, what do you do? Like, who is this for? I guess is what I was trying. I don't know. Maybe I'm sounding nonsense. Maybe I should just mind my business. But it made me feel like y'all are doing too much. You're not like, you can have this relationship you want without leaning into these super sexist, rigid, this is what a man does stereotypes that y'all are doing right now. You could be gay. You could be, super, like, I'm trying, like, I hear gay men say this sometimes, and I feel like they do extreme. People are like, yeah, I don't want another man to hold the door for me. And I'm like, bro, it's just a door. Like, if they want to hold it for you, it's not like you a bitch because they holding the door. It's just, it could be an act of love, a kindness, a gesture. I get that, but like, now if you walk over to the table, right, and he stands behind you to hold your chair out, and you be like, thank you, I got it. I don't need, like, my thing is, if you want to be polite, like, you could just go to your chair, and you just, what I might do, what I was taught to do, or should be done is, if you don't want to do all that, you just stand. And the same way, like, the food comes, it's common courtesy that nobody eats until all the plates are there. Like, that's just what something, so, if I'll just stand and wait, and then we can sit at the same time. Like, that's something that you can do, but like, the whole, let me hold your chair, let me take your coat, it was just, and if that's what you like, fine, but it was just given 1940s, 1950s, I'm trying real hard to be a butch lesbian, and that means that I have to hold your chair, and I have to take your coat, and when the waiter comes over, I'm not going to let you order for yourself, I'm going to tell him what you want, and I'm going to call you honey, and sweet. It was just like, oh, y'all are killing me right now, like, oh my god, is this what we doing? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm not making sense, but I just feel like gays, like, we don't have to, like, we can write the rules or however we want. We can that's the perfect, probably the only best thing, perfect advantage we have for being gay is you can blur the lines. You don't have to be locked. I mean, straight people don't have to be locked into them either. They just choose to. But they don't have to be, But I'm just saying, we really don't have to be. So when you're doing it anyway, and we already know that it's toxic for the straight people who it's meant for, we already trying to break out of that for them. Like, hey, you know what? We trying to this shit that they trying to send us back to the 1950s, we trying to break out of that. Even the straight people are realizing, like, this is toxic. Like, yeah, okay, we're not housewives anymore. We work too. We're not gonna come home and cook dinner after full day work. Nigga, you can cook too. You can wash dishes too. You know what I mean? When they're trying to break out of that, just to see gay people just still locked in that, like that's the ideal. It irritated me in a way that it made me uncomfortable, because I was kind of like, girl, it ain't your fucking business. That's their relationship. If that's what they like. But at the same time, it just kind of was like, y'all are being silly right now. Like, y'all are being very, very, very remedial right now, and I'm not sure why. You know what I mean? Like, you doing the most, and it looks crazy to everybody, because it's like, what are you doing? Like, let the girl order for herself. Okay, girl, like, you pulled the chair off, relax. Every time she get up to go, you standing up. Like, what is this? We Ozzy and Harriet? Like, what are you doing? So, I don't know. Somebody out there know what I'm trying to say. I might not have been too coherent on that, but somebody knows. So, I said all that to say, I'm kind of like I'm trying to reevaluate, like, do I actually agree with the gays that be like, y'all look crazy doing these gender roles? Like, I don't want to say gender roles. That's not what I mean. These stereotypical, heteronormative gender roles is what I should say, because I stand by what I said earlier. Look, if the guy or the girl, whatever, they don't want to wear their hair, they don't want to put the they're locked into their gender expression. They know how they want to be. Look, I don't wear hair. I don't want the nail polish. I don't want all that. I don't need all that. I understand that it's not about not being open. It's just not my style. I stick to that. But at the same time, I do kind of, when I just saw that in action, I was like, yo, it do look kind of late, though. It do look kind of like you're really, like, just stuck in a paradigm that really is outdated and doesn't serve anybody at all, and kind of looks silly. You know what I mean? Like, I will hold the door. I'm not gonna pull your chair out, though, but like I said, I will wait for you to sit. I'm not gonna, like, I'm polite, but I'm not doing man shit. You know what I mean? Like, when the waiter comes, I'll let you order first. Polite, right? But I'm not gonna tell my lady would like I'm not doing that. That's corny to me. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell them what you want. You know what I mean? Go ahead, baby. Get whatever you want. Just tell them what you want. That's me. So, and I will pay. It's not no big deal. You motherfuckers act like y'all grew up in the orphanage where food was the prize, and it's this power struggle over who pays. Whatever you want to eat, if you out with me, I'll pay for it. And we ain't got it ain't like no down payment on pussy or nothing like that. It's just, I'll pay. And we go out again, you can pay. It's just, a polite thing to do. Like, if we go out next time and you want to pay, I'm not going to argue with you. All right, yeah, go ahead. I paid last time. You know what I mean? Like, I just think y'all, I don't understand this battle to the death over this power play over who pays for food. I never understood that. I mean, I get it with straight women, because straight women are used to being transactional, and niggas pay for dinner and think you supposed to bust it out in the parking lot. That's one of the reasons why I don't really prefer, to date women who date men, because I just don't like it. Their whole concept of relationships, dating, it just be very just not for me, right? So, but I get it. So, I don't know. Hopefully that made sense. But I just had to speak on it. I was like, yo, I might have to reevaluate, because because I mainly hear from gay men that they don't like that. Like, don't be, you're not a housewife. You're a man. Like, don't be asking me to do wife shit. Like, because, like, don't be asking me to do, like, man shit. Like, you're the woman. You're not a woman. I used to be like, man, look, if they didn't want to be femme. But now I'm like, is that maybe I see what they mean, though. Like, nigga, you could be femme, but, like, you're not a girl. You know what I mean? Like, cut it out. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I might have to flipping ass bitch on that one. We'll see. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. If y'all do, at me on Twitter. Let me know if y'all understand what it is I'm trying to say. Cause Lord, I don't want none of these you can't say nothing nowadays. These gays be flip you out the goddamn window. But if I'm not making sense, let me know. Alright, so that's it. I've been talking to y'all long enough, and the game's about to come on. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for asking. Like me, rate me. Thanks for sticking in there. Sorry for being late. Yeah, and see y'all next week. Peace.